There we go. I just have to hear that little click sound to know that it's cheers. It's Monday, the day before D-Day, Election Day, the 4th of November. Cheers. Well, wake up to some very, very sad news, even though I could feel it coming. It's just one of those things. Quincy Jones, at 91, has passed away. Quincy Jones was an absolute giant when it comes to music and the history of Western music. My sister and brother-in-law met him. They weren't friends. I have a picture of them together. But when Quincy met Floyd, it was a mutual appreciation society. They were both at the time living legends. Thankfully, Floyd is still with us. I've only got a few things that I can dig up. I imagine there will be lots of plaudits regarding Quincy Jones in the news today. He deserves it. He was another trailblazing black musician. It must be stated that way because in his young days, as an arranger, band leader, and person pushing his music and pushing music forward, he faced many, many ridiculous obstacles based on racism, and he just kicked against it. He helped to kick down doors that people still have to kick against in the industry, in the world. I still remember as a child when I first noticed soul bossa nova. It was just, if you've never heard it, you've probably heard it. It's so distinct. It's so vivacious, lively, and swinging and kicking. It's like, I can still remember before I finally found out what it was. What is that? Who is that? That is, just, you know what I mean? You can go on about his production for days. I have more than this. But, okay, these are the two that came out. Walking in Space. Talk about the arranger's arranger. Talk about a person who knows what he likes and responds. That's what it was. It's like Quincy didn't mess around. If he can't get the music to move him, nothing's happening. I have, well, innately, it's something that I've understood all my life. How things can move you and how important that is. But he's also been one that I could look to as an example or a mentor about that's what you want to do. You want to make this music pop. I remember when my older brother James bought this home, Smackwater Jack. Love that textured cover. Little signs. Even the grass. That's a sign of respect. Back in the day, this is back in the 70s. I'm trying to see if I can see the date right quick. This is the one where it also includes the Bill Cosby theme, which I love. So sad about the disgraced career of Bill Cosby. When people come over here and leave little notes saying, "Oh, you look like Bill Cosby," no, I don't, and I take it as an insult because of what happened to him, what he did, and he was made to be accountable for it. Which brings us back today. We have a person who's done much worse than Bill Cosby, has been convicted, went to trial. People still want him to be president, and they have the nerve to try to diss on Bill Cosby. That's that racist double standard I don't stand for. So it's a bummer. But at 91, he lived a good life, and at 91, it's like you're headed for the exit. There's just no way to get around it. It's the end of the road. Rest in peace, Quincy. To move on to nicer things, Inner Image is still selling. It feels like a bit of a breakthrough. And I hope I don't jinx it by talking about it. But my goodness, it's about time. I haven't looked at the feedback on the latest music clip from the album I put up. I put up 2 in the last 24 hours. I probably will put up another one today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for connecting. Another little thing that has happened that was brought to my attention is that the Cat Synth TV YouTube channel, did a review yesterday or the day before of Jerry King's Cloud Over Jupiter album, the new one, Atomic Beat Jupiter, that I play on. Well, it's really nice that I'm now getting, maybe it's happening, I don't know, but this is one of the first ones where I see that I get a mention along with the other notable musicians on the record, because there are notable musicians. Dave Newhouse of the Muffins, Ron Anderson, Rick Parnell was in Atomic Rooster. I appreciate that I'm mention-worthy to some people now. That feels very good. So, cool. Right quick, let me see if there's anything to respond to in the comments. Thank you for listening, number one. Yes, people are listening. Cool Guy Wolf said, this song made me feel happy, gave me a boost of energy. It was an amazing feeling. Thank you, Dereck. Very good, because that's what the music is about. And he mentioned that about Starcase, which is short. One person said that they thought that the track should be longer, Starcase. Very cool, but a bit short, Roller Coaster says. But then the next person gets it. Love the playfulness of this one. A little sparkle in the ear. That's exactly what Starcase is. And see, the deal is I also responded to the person that they thought it was too short. It really isn't. Because it was a patch that arpeggiates like that and burbles, and it's like it just kind of tweaked it a little bit and then added my parts. And it was like it did what it needed to do, kind of like a shooting star or just a passing sparkly moment. And I'm already there. If I need that to be longer, all you have to do is loop it, because that's what it is it's looped. The idea, I went ahead and looped it twice to make it that long. So it's not too short. Loop it. I love hearing people say that they like this of my work the best so far, because of the knowing as the maker, it's not my best. It's part of this big body of stuff. I have a lot. I've already released stuff that is as good as this. If you go back, it has me thinking about just re-releasing stuff that I released years ago, but reconfiguring it so you can hear it with new ears. thinking about that strong. I am not pursuing a vinyl release of Inner Ear consciously, but I'd love it. I'd love it. I would like that a lot. If there's any independent producers out there with labels watching this, get a hold of me. Let's put it out on vinyl. You'll make your money. I mean, that's always the bottom line. Can we make our money? That's the one thing about Robert Smith of The Cure. I'm just going to riff. Why I like him so much. He's very honest and he's down to earth, and he knows that he doesn't have to rip people off. A couple of recent interviews where I watched him, they're online. He's fought with Ticketmaster and the ticket people over ticket prices and other things, just saying, I want to keep the prices down. It's just too much money. Where's all this money going, and who needs to make all this money? This is ridiculous. What a beautiful sentiment. And there's not enough people like that on his level or above who are willing to do that. It's like, I don't need all this money. I got some. He said a very important thing. He said the longevity of the band and what we do don't you realize it's sustaining us? We don't have to gouge our audience, and that's what a lot of people do. They gouge, no disrespect to Taylor Swift as an artist, but as a business person, she learned that well. Oh, I'm the hot potato. Let's sell a bunch of baskets. 1 potato, 2 potato, 3. Come get them all. Get all 3. It works. So yeah, if you're an independent label, you happen to see this, I got a couple records I could put out, and they would sell. I do not want to do a crowdfunding, GoFundMe bullshit. That has brought me so much misery. Especially the one that I didn't mount, the one that was mounted for me, that assholes claimed that I falsely set up, trying to scam people. That's not true. I did a GoFundMe for my house, and I did a GoFundMe for the Murphy album. So the rest of you motherfuckers can just fucking suck my dick, okay? You folks that don't understand what I just said, don't take it personal. The other people that do know what went down, you hopefully understand. Hope to never hear from them ignorant ass motherfuckers again. Probably will. Now they're probably all excited. Oh, he's triggered. Time to show up and see if we can add salt to the wound. There ain't no wound. It's healed. Call you bitches out. Okay, so yesterday I had an interesting listening experience with this album. Gunther Schuller, Bruno Maderna, Tre Invenzioni and Il Giardino Religioso. Contemporary modern avant-garde classical music on the lovely Odyssey label. I've had this for years. Probably bought it when it was released, when I was working at the record store or shortly afterwards. I've always had a great interest in this music and getting underneath what's going on here. So the three inventions by Gunther Schuller is where it starts. And as it describes it, if I can just pull it up real quick. Tre Invenzioni is one of several works reflecting my own long-standing interest in the Italian Renaissance, but the work here is used in the general sense in which it is often used in the Renaissance. Freely conceived musical inventions that did not correspond to some already established musical forms. And so this is exactly, it's like 3 movements contrasting in character, starting with mercurial, agitated, unpredictable, moving into a third basically vivacious virtuosic situation. So this starts off like a challenge to the listener. It's like, what's going on here? What are they doing? What are they playing? My response to it was, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? What's going on here, and when is it going to settle into something distinguishable, which frankly it doesn't. It goes through these permutations and shows you things musically, audio. So it was a challenging listen. It wasn't pleasant, but it was like, okay, I see. And it's almost like I could almost get to the point where I could see, so if I take this and I do it like this, and if we go up here, and then we stop and turn and go there, I wonder what that will sound like. And I can almost hear that happening perhaps in the composer's head as I listen to the Trey invention. The Bruno Moderna I didn't get to because I was intrigued by the Schiller, so I turned it over and played Contours, which is a whole side, which frankly shows the brilliance of the composer, Gunther Schuller. Completely different palette, using the same instruments and orchestra, and it's like, this is completely different. And as he says in the notes, I picked up on it before I read it, but looked, the Contours, 5 movements. I thought of the work as a contemporary counterpart to the 18th century suite, although not in the conventional neoclassic sense as applied by Stravinsky, for example. So indeed, it's more, there's lyrical passages, and it's like it's almost going to become beautiful, but it doesn't. It's like it kind of like swoops through, and then it keeps moving with these ideas. It's really quite a compelling listen, really enjoyable. That's really, honestly, is that the only thing I have to show? Honest. Oh, okay. I like to keep it honest. Okay. I can do polls, but then I also like to tell you, I can talk about things I've actually listened to. Here's one that I've talked about, the label Lamour Records. Victor, if you happen to see this, I love that you send your works to me. From Sweden. This is on the Lamour label. It's a good electronic label. If you don't know this label, or if you don't have it, it's worth having. This one is Gavle-Stockholm Dub. Ingenmansland. I'm not sure I'm saying it right, but this is bubbling, undulating, wonderful electronics, like that landscape. And this is very cool. Only 100 of these were made. I got number 42. I love stuff like this. And this is good. And it's another lovely piece of vinyl. I really appreciate these. It is, in a way, a payment for, that's why the idea of people wanting me to review their digital stuff just doesn't appeal to me. I'll tell you about my stuff. It's just not the same. Victor always sends me a nice, loving card, and there's his people. Victor with the beard and the longer beard. This is good. I don't even have to hype it unnecessarily. If you like electronics, see, again, it's like it's an area of music. You can kind of hear what this came out of, like harmonia and noi, but it doesn't sound like that. It's much more modern sounding. What I like about the fact is I listen to a lot of electronic music, but I can't immediately come up with other people to compare this directly to. But it's really, really good. This is one I'll write it in the description box because you can't see it. And I'd like to encourage folks to discover the label Lamour Records. It's not a typical label that you're hearing about internationally. It's like you got to know about it, seemingly. So I came back to this album. I was talking about the other day, Seventh Wave, Things to Come. I put on side 2, and it was like, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, this is real cool. There's a whimsical kind of silliness to it. There's a circus quality to some of the music, like we're at the fairground or we're at the circus. And to me, it's just a whole. It connects with the whole idea of what partially came through with prog in the first place. A return to whimsy, to childhood fantasy, Alice in Wonderland, escape from the doldrums of everyday life, and it would take you into a fantasy world. So I really enjoyed this. And I still just, even though the words are on the record, I can just hear that the words don't mean shit with regard to the larger picture. It's just, they had to write some words. The music is what counts here. Here's another one that was sent to me for review years ago. Tanger. I don't know who these people are. Spiritual 2. I looked them on Discogs, and they just put out a new CD last year. This is real good. More electronics, electronic, instrumental. This one, even more than the other one, has a harmonia thing to it. Really good. Really, pretty much excellent. I can use the word excellent. Look that stuff up. So, in the bedtime listens, this is one that came up that was like, what is this? Because it was good and irritating at the same time. I looked it up online. I read all the information here, and it's like, I still don't quite know who these people were or if they're still going. Sub-Bionic. Excuse me. As I was listening to it in bed, it started off in one way, kind of indie guitar rock sounding, and then it just started to get into these other areas with keyboards and interesting writing. But different, if it's the same singer, and I think it's the same singer, but the singer sings with different affectations on his voice. And on some of the songs, it was like, well, you're trying to be like Jay Macis or another person who kind of bleats, but it ain't working. It's irritating to me. It's like, shut up. The music's good. Then the next thing would come and he'd sing in a different type of voice. This is one of those things I took a chance on. It's a promo, but it's like I bought it for $1 at Homer's when they were like doing clearances. Sub-Bionic. It's kind of good, actually. Kind of good. Going over to the singles here. This is sitting out because yesterday, it was a year ago yesterday that the last Beatles single, Now and Then, was put out. A lot of people just, to me, don't have perspective on that fact. It's the last one we get. And so people complaining about the AI involvement. I don't like the production. I don't like this. I don't like that. Bitches, this is the last thing we're going to get. What the fuck? Can't y'all understand that? That's a real irritation on my part. It's like, get some goddamn perspective. This is the last thing. If anything else comes out, it's going to be some of that AI shit where they'll find some scraps or probably dink together some shit and then try to get permission from Paul and Yoko and Ringo. Hey, we got this. We can make another Beatles record. And it'll be some total bullshit like people think this is. But this is like, this was it. And it touches me. And there's a video where Paul performed it live. And I said, that does it. That legitimizes it. Paul sang this live. I love it. That's what I got for you. But I'm feeling good and energized. I put in a request to have my car go in the shop today, but I did it online, so I'm waiting for when it opens to see if they can get me in today. I'd love to get that done. It's like there's always something, there's always some kind of problem, but it's like I need to get that fixed before it gets cold, and I fear it's going to be expensive. It sounds like something is broken. Something's moving that's not supposed to be moving. And I can't see it, but it sounds bad. I'll leave it there, 25 minutes. Oh, actually, I will say again, I am thrilled that people are hearing my music. I think it's, even for you folks who've been listening for a long time, it takes a long time for a person to come into, for the picture to really emerge. And I feel like for many people, the picture of my artistry is emerging. I've been a fan forever. I've done this as a hobby / serious about it if something can happen forever. So I'm just really happy that the music is getting through. Please listen. Please purchase. Thank you. I will upload another track to my channel today from the latest album, Inner Image. And I have plenty more where that comes from. This is not my best work. It's part of a large body of work that is this good or better. Have a good day. Let me know what's going on.